for the farmers and producers and the makers. What we even here for? Occasionally I ask it. I know it's more than struggling, anticipating the casket. Reap what we sow, trying to fill up my basket. Life's a plantation, I self-law and master. Over the plot, I've been granted on this planet. Now it's slanted, cause the chosen been supplanted. But if you overstand it, it was spoken. Fractured, but we ain't broken. Even though some would rather play the role of token, we growing. Black through the essence of a presence. We carry the blood of gods, we carry the mind of peasants. Rich black gardens, future look more like Eden. Multiply seeds like the seed banks in Sweden. Rep my planners on plan according to season. Beat one code, switching it up is treason. Black power, family what we eat. Either we get fed or we feed. Beat one thing.
What's growing on? What's growing on? What is growing on? Welcome to B1 Ag, the Daily Bread Podcast. I'm John Henry Harris. We also have Farmer Brown EMC. Here at B1 Ag, we focus on Black agriculture production, education, marketing, health, food, nutrition, and economics, all for the Black family and for the Black community. Welcome Black to the garden. Farmer Brown and I, we fresh off of the National All Black National Convention. It was a great convention. Shout out to Chrissy Mack, one of our viewers. We were able to build with the sister there. She showed up and showed out. And for all the other attendees, it was a great event. Very inspirational to have that many Black minds on one accord, all about progressing the culture, progressing the people. Great event. Now that we're back, it's time to get back. Now it's time to really get back to work. And over the weekend while we were at the All Black National Convention, the World Food Program Director of the UN tweeted out, and he named Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos specifically. He said that $6 billion, a one-time donation of $6 billion would feed 42 million people worldwide. And these 42 million people worldwide are on the brink of hunger. That's a large number of people that would help. And $6 billion is actually only 2% of Elon Musk's wealth, total wealth. He's worth $300 billion. So Elon Musk actually tweeted back that he would sell the $6 billion in Tesla stock right now if the UN could prove that number of $6 billion and also have an open accounting of how that $6 billion was spent. Now, here at B1 Ag, we focus on the B1 community, our community and our people. So we did some number crunching of our own, and we figured out how much it would take to feed our food insecure, and not only feed our food insecure, build our food security and make sure that we will be food secure for now and generations to come. So I hope y'all are ready to really check out these numbers. It's pretty amazing. We can actually end hunger in our community with a very small amount of number, a very small amount of money compared to the $6 billion that the UN is asking from Elon Musk for a one-off. Now, this is a one-time shot the UN is asking for, but we have really come up with a plan that would really help our communities stay food secure. Farmer Brown, today's subject, but we're going to go deeper than this. Will Elon Musk donate $6 billion to end world hunger? Will he? Won't he? But what are we going to do to end our hunger? Let's dive deep, Farmer Brown.
First, I just like to say peace to the B1 family. Feeling great, man. I was sometimes it just takes being in the same space with like-minded melanated people who's really focused on solutions. Most of the people I rock with aren't coming from a place of charity. For the fact that this came up over the weekend, I do think that's very interesting. $6 billion. When you think about the guy sitting in the White House right now, they were talking about this $4 billion that was supposed to go to farmers of color, right? Which still hasn't, not a dime of debt relief has gone to them. But then we want to have this conversation. What can we do for ourselves? Being real codified. When we're talking about this concept that Elon Musk said, well, hey, I'll give $6 billion of my Tesla stock to this if you can show me show me where it's going. I think this is an opportunity for us to have a conversation of what he means. What he's saying is, okay, I'll give my money, but y'all got to be able to be transparent in where it's going to go. Is it going to go to all these indirect costs? Are you going to have all of these nice charitable organizations, taking their 30% off before it actually reaches the people that need it? I do think this number of 40, peace to the brother Blue Pill. So I got to meet Blue Pill, you know what I'm saying? But this law of 44. So it seems like the melanated community, what we call Turtle Island, North America, has been around this 44 percentile forever, or representing 44 million. And so, like you said, we broke down some numbers to see what does this look like if the melanated community decided here that, hey, we want to address our own food insecurity. So I look forward to deep diving into this discussion.
Now, before we go too deep into these numbers, I do want for those viewers that are seeing this through the B1 Ag Deliberate podcast channel on YouTube. If you look in the description of the video, we have a link to sign the petition for our Black farmers to receive their debt relief. You'll also see a link to healthyblackfood.com where you can sign up to learn how to grow your own food. This is the best way to go ahead and start making your way towards self-empowerment and self-sufficiency, is learn how to grow your own food. We have a great program and we have a direct link for you to click in there. You can also check out our merchandise store. We have a lot of great merchandise for you to check out as well. Very stylish. You can look at it and you can be fly in any weather with B1 Ag merchandise. Okay, now getting back to Elon Musk. Elon Musk, we just want to show you this video exactly what went down this weekend. It's pretty interesting. Now, the World Food Program chief, he challenged the world's billionaires, but Elon Musk kind of stepped up and said he's willing to donate this money now. So let's check out this story from CNN.
$6 billion could alleviate global poverty and help 42 million people who are on the brink of starvation. That is according to the World Food Program, which is calling on billionaires like Tesla's Elon Musk to donate. In response, Musk tweeted this: if WFP can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it. He added that it must be open source accounting so that the public can see where the money is going. Joining me now is David Beasley. He is the head of the UN World Food Program. David, you responded to this. The World Food Program responded to this. Tell us what you are saying to Elon Musk. He wants an explanation here about how this money could be used.
This is fantastic news because Elon's a very, very smart guy. For him to even enter into this conversation is a game changer because, simply put, we can answer his questions. We can put forward the plan that's clear. We're the world's largest operation now, feeding about 120 million people. But because of COVID impacting already climate change and conflict, we have a one-time crisis of about 42 million people that are literally knocking on famine's door. It will cost about over $6 billion to reach those 42 million. And we can do that. And I will show him, we will put it out in front of him. We have all the cost accounting, public transparency, any and everything that he would ask, we will be glad to answer. And I look forward to having this discussion with him because lives are at stake. I'm not picking on Elon Musk. I'm so happy that he's making money. But as you know, during the height of COVID, billionaires made extraordinary amounts of money. Governments are tapped out. We got people dying. And we've got an answer to this. And please help us on this one-time ask. Please help us.
I forgot who it was. They said first comes the missionaries, then comes the mercenaries. Who are these people they want to help feed? Here at B1 Ag, we believe that we have all that we need and we have all that we're going to get when it comes to dealing with the usual suspects. But today we're going to talk about, so out of 41 million, and this is according to the most recent census statistics, out of 41 million, what they classify as Black Americans, 39%. These are households with children. This equates to about 16 million melanated individuals in what we call North America are food insecure. What we did was crunch this down. What does this look like if we see that this is the grand challenge now to feed people? What can we do for ourselves? And so being real codified when we're talking about transparency, let's really break this down on what this looks like in the melanated community. And so to feed 16 million, and this isn't just about, I mean, obviously charity, altruism is a big part of it, but we also want to look at, okay, we know agriculture alone is a $1 trillion business in North America. We know that it is our ancestors that mastered it and built it. And so what does this look like reasserting ourselves? And so basically to feed 16 million food insecure melanated families and communities in North America, we know that the average individual eats 200 square feet worth of produce a year. This is a healthy diet, one person. And so this 16 million people times 200 square feet, that's about 3.2 billion square feet. If you break down the math of that, that equates to about 73,462 acres. I'll repeat that, to feed 16 million food insecure melanated people in what we call North America. That equates to 73,462 acres. This is in North America. This is intensive agricultural production. We do know the melanated family, there is 1.9 billion acres in North America. And right now, Black, what they classify as Black, owns 7.8 million. That equates to about 14.4 billion if you do the math. So literally a small percentage of the land that we already have. This isn't land that you got to go ask somebody for. This isn't land or resources that you're reaching out to somebody, hey, can you help us, poor miserable people? No, these are resources we already have. The resource that we don't have, what it boils down to is the labor and the communal buy-in and intent. So to put these acres into production, and we can break this down a little more, you're looking at about a $20,000 per acre investment. What this includes is your materials. If you're building high tunnels, depending on where you're at, you know, making sure you can produce year round. This is going to be your seed. This is going to be your labor. And so to put an acre in production, we're not talking about the large swaths of land like the monocrops where you just have hundreds of acres of wheat or grain or corn. These are literally maybe 4 different agricultural products per acre. This does take work. And so this isn't just I hop on my tractor, seed it, spray some fertilizer and herbicide, then I'm done. No, this is actual work. But a part of the conversation we're having, as per some of the conversations we had this weekend, this is how we can reclaim our place within this food system just by setting a codified goal of feeding the 16 million melanated people in what we call North America.
And the beauty of this is that we take care of the people that need it the most. And that's our severely food insecure, are hungry. But what this leads into is job creation. It creates jobs. And after we feed those 16 million people that are hungry, it creates surplus amounts of food for us to eat to make sure that we stay food secure into the future, because we're building our own industry. We're building our own food system. And the labor, it takes about 3 people per acre in a 3-day work week, which is not a lot, but it's enough. but you also got to consider, the logistics like transportation, storage. It opens up a lot of wealth of opportunities for our people just within food. Now, if we look at this country, we're with the mandates. We were already the highest unemployed, but with the mandates, they're starting to lock us out of the economic system. We can build our own just behind feeding ourselves, and that's power.
So what is this 73,000? Like I said, Musk was like, hey, I need to know exactly where this is going. And so we know, and this is as of 2019, 56% of the melanated family lives in what we call the Southeast. 56%. And so, let's really break this down. And we also know this is the majority of where the majority of black farms are. 56 in what we call the South. We know 19% of the melanated family lives in the Midwest. This is also good agricultural land when you're talking about your produce. And I do want to place a caveat on our conversation. We're talking about produce. There is a whole other piece of meat and livestock and poultry production, but we're just, for the sake of the day, really contextualizing how feasible this is. So we know 19% live in the Midwest. We know 18% live in the Northeast. This is New York, your East Coast, and we know 10% live on the West Coast. If you do the statistics of where black farms are, this same dynamic exists as far as where your black farms are. So when we're talking about, okay, how do we make it rain? How do we spend this $20,000 per acre? And so basically, you're going to put it to where the people need it the most. We realize in the South, when we look at they say follow the money. So big money is spending a lot of money investing in arable farmland, not just land, but arable farmland where you can actually produce in the South, along the Mississippi River Valley, as well as the Midwest. And so when we're, our entrepreneurial minded people, we ran into a lot of real estate people this weekend that understand like, hey, we need to eat, and to eat, we need land. So these are conversations here at B1 Ag. We're not real estate people. And so, our goal is to have these conversations going wherever you're at within these different regions. But you're going to break this 73,000 acres down within these regions. So, for example, 56% of this 73,000 will be spread out with black farmers in what we call the Southeast. 18% will be spread out amongst the 18% of black farms in the Northeast. 10% will be allocated to the 10% in the West Coast. The same way when we were growing up, many people's first job would be going at a fast food joint or working at some sort of brick and mortar. We see that we're being taken out of that. A lot of these jobs, and actually they say 40% of the jobs that melanated people hold stand to be replaced by automation in the next 10 years. And so instead of being in reaction mode, how do we be proactive? And so maybe my teenager's first job isn't going to be at McDonald's or Burger King. It's going to be working at one of these local farms, right? 3 days a week. Hey, we don't expect you to get a career in retirement on this farm, but with a general rule of thumb in the ag sector, you need about 2 to 3 years hands-on experience to really land, one of the higher paying careers. Here at B1 Ag, we're talking about how do we create our own careers. When we're thinking about unique ways to partner, and so we met some brothers and sisters who are in the education system right now. I know at the HBCU where I work, we do dual credit. And so say if we have some students that are in high school taking some ag courses in high schools, that account for credits when they actually come to a university. Well, part of getting these credits is, hey, dad, mom found this rural farm or this urban farm that's a part of this Feed the 16 Million project, and I'm just giving a generic name. And I spent 2 years working there. I gave 3 hours, 3 days a week, about a couple of hours watering, harvesting, weeding, taking care of the crops, doing some of the construction work, building fence, seeding, harvesting, but really codifying, because these are specific jobs that need to be done. Like I said, one of the reasons a lot of black farmers haven't been able to compete is lack of access to resources. They didn't get the subsidies that your larger white farms got to get the big tractors, the big implements, the quality seed. And so when we're talking about localizing, which is going to happen across the board anyway, we want to make sure that we already have a game plan in motion. We don't want to start acting upon somebody else. Because what's going to happen, I'm not in the minds of these people, the guy in the UN, but what you're going to have is these saviors, these white saviors is going to come save the day. And I imagine out of this 41 million they're talking about around the world, it's going to be a melanated places in the diaspora. So what we understand here in North America, I think, what was the number that black people represent when it comes to spending?
When it comes to spending, just one moment, find it again.
I think it's upwards of 300 billion.
We actually, African Americans in here, we have $1.4 trillion in spending money. But, where is it?
So we spend 1.4 trillion. This is including people's rent, mortgage. That's cool. These are necessities. These are things that a person has to have. We're not here pocket watching. We're looking at practicality. I think that 300 billion was based in just discretionary spending, recreation, cosmetics, entertainment. So, not to pocket watch, but let's be practical. So you're looking at about a $1.5 billion investment. What this does is this is $1.5 billion to be allocated to $20,000 per acre to put these 73,000 acres in full production. So say I'm a black farm down in Florida and I just have 2 acres. Okay, so we know out of this 1.5 billion communal investment, we know that 40,000 will directly go to this farmer. Cut out the BS, cut out all of the bureaucracy. We know 40,000 is going to go to this 2 acres. This 2 acres isn't just going to be a lot of grass. It is going to be intensive vegetable production. This is where your cooperative extension offices come in. What grows best? If you're in southern Florida and we understand, okay, you're going to get more mangoes, you're going to get more fruits per this 2 acres. You're going to base your labor around that. What kind of labor is needed to produce these mangoes? What kind of structures will need to be built to make sure that this is going to produce all year round? Because our goal is to make sure that these 16 million food insecure melanated families have 200 square feet worth of fresh produce. Some things are going to grow a lot better than Florida than, say, the Midwest. What are the things that grow better in the Midwest for the farmer that has 10 acres that can be put into production? So maybe this is your leafy greens. Maybe this is your onions. So saying that to say it's almost like a franchise. McDonald's, if you go to McDonald's in Florida, it's going to be the same in the East Coast, same in the West Coast, same in Midwest. So how do we codify these same agricultural operations? The big piece of this, obviously, we spend the money. As melanated people, our ancestors would flip if they had the capital, the financial capital that we have today. But we need the labor. I grew up in a family where I have like 6 aunts and uncles. That's who used to do the garden work. That's who used to work out on the farm. But then when given the opportunity to go to the cities, work in the factories, guess what? This work got allocated to H-2A workers, migrant workers. This work got allocated to machinery. And so as we look black to the garden, looking black to the future, how do we regain that same concept of understanding that this isn't disparaging labor? This is inserting ourselves in a $1 trillion and growing industry. So using this, for example, you said you have an acre in Michigan. So we understand Michigan, you're not going to get too many fruits, right? You're not going to get bananas in Michigan. But what I know, especially you're close to Michigan State University, and I know they have an extension program up there. It's actually one of the top ones in the country. And so heavy green production, you're looking at your leafy vegetables, you're looking at your spinach, you're looking at your lettuce, you're looking at a lot of herbs. And so per what we're talking about, so you have an acre. The family is going to invest directly $20,000 to your acre. Out of this acre, and one of the things the elders say, don't get into farming to make money, get into it to feed people. And once you get good at feeding people, then you understand how to feed yourself and then create a surplus. And so per this $20,000 investment, and this is based on a 4 crop rotation or 4 different crops, you can yield up to $60,000 per acre. It is possible. This is intensive. So it's not just I have an acre of one thing. It's like, no, I have 4 different things growing on my acre. This is including my high tunnels and structures, my box gardens, my container gardens. I have vertical setups. So you can earn up to 60,000. Minus your $20,000 investment. Okay, you're looking at a $40,000 profit possibility. Am I saying that everybody with an acre is going to earn 60,000? I'll say it's possible, but we got to look at the very specific dynamics within that. You need somebody to work this. This isn't something that, okay, I just put these seeds here and then I go do what I do and then I come back and expect my 60,000. You're going to have you pick your own operations, where to cut down on some of your labor costs. You might have it set up where kids from around the neighborhood, families from around this 16 million that we're targeting, come and pick their own. You might do some tourism there. You might hold some classes there, because what you want to do is diversify this acre. Especially
just to be fully transparent, on average, the profit per acre is $790. However, with an intense farming operation, specialty crops, you can earn up to $60,000 per year per acre.
I know families here in Kentucky, 40 is nothing, and they just grow tomatoes. They do tomatoes, sweet potatoes, and strawberries and green beans. That's all they grow. Easily a couple of stacks every weekend that they go to a farmer's market. These people have regular jobs, but every weekend at the farmer's market, and they've learned how to utilize social media. And so they easily make 40,000 annually just off of there. And I think they just have like 4 acres. So saying that to say it's doable, but I also know they work. So as soon as they get off of their 9 to 5, they're going to spend a good 2 to 3 hours out working in their field. And so these are some of the things you got to factor in. We don't want anybody doing any work for free. We're not trying to take it back to plantation days. And so, like I said, let's not set anybody up to say, hey, 15-year-old, you're going to earn 100 stacks this year working in the garden. No, that's not feasible. But is it feasible out of this $20,000 investment to make sure I can pay 3 different people a little bit above minimum wage? 3 different people, 3 or 4 hours a day for 3 days a week. Because what this also does, like I said, when you're partnering with your academic institutions, this also gives them dual credit opportunities. This also gives them this 2 to 3 years experience to make them qualified if they do decide to go into corporate. Because that's another way when we think about the 35,000 ag jobs that go on field, how many of us got 3 years in it? And so I'm about 5 years in it now, and I'll tell you it ain't because somebody just came and told me about it. And so how do we as a community make sure that we're making our young people aware of this early in the game while they're in high school? They're the legal age to work. Obviously, you're going to look at your liability insurance. You want to make sure, somebody cuts themselves, that's taken care of. So all of this is factored into this 20,000 per acre investment. This is feasible.
Now, just as a recap, Blacks in America currently possess 7.8 million acres. 7.8 million acres. Only 73,462 acres is needed to feed 16 million food insecure Blacks in this country. Only 73,462 acres out of 7.8 million acres is needed to feed 16 million food insecure Blacks in America. A $20,000 per year investment per acre. So that's $20,000 per set at 73,462 acres covers labor, equipment, and seed per year. Now, what this boils down to is an estimated $1.5 billion investment to feed 16 million food insecure Blacks in America. Now, and this is not a one-off. This builds a system that will feed those 16 million people. And as we continue year by year, it's going to feed more and more people, as well as gain profits start job, like create jobs, create a whole food system, we will never have to beg for a seat at the proverbial dinner table again with an investment of $1.5 billion. And then the profit, the potential profit margin is like almost $4 billion a year.
I want to put something into perspective for the family. Once again, we met a sister from Miami. Co-ops is the wave of the future. You know, when we talk about, okay, I hear the numbers y'all are talking about. You know, I hear what y'all are saying. Yeah, it makes sense. But what does this look like? I just got this isolated acre over here. You know, I got some family that live in the city. Like, how does this work? Cooperatives. And so the USDA, there are more than 100, actually 5,000 different co-ops. But I think when we think about Ocean Spray, you know, this is your cranberry juice, you know, people that get drinks, you know, mixed drinks. That's a co-op. So it's not like Ocean Spray just has one farm or one system where they're getting their cranberries. This is a cooperative. And so you have some operations, say in the South, you have some up north. It's a cooperative. And so it's the same thing. So if we're wanting to specifically just talk about dairy products, what does this look like? And so Dairy Farmers of America, for example, it's a milk marketing cooperative based in Kansas City, Missouri. It was second place in 2015 with $13.9 billion in total revenue. Lando Lakes, when we think of butter, a dairy foods and farm supply co-op based in St. Paul, Minnesota, $13 billion in acres. One of the top five is Growmark Inc. This is in Bloomington, Illinois, $8.7 billion in sales. These are cooperatives. Meaning, okay, you know, we're based in Illinois, but, you know, we're working with people in New York. We're working with people in North Carolina. We're working with people in Texas. We're working with people in California, growing the same product or working together to serve the same demographic. This 16 million is important because a lot of times it's easy for us to say, oh, well, I'm cool. You know, I got money. I can go to the store, get what I need. But we see that 2021 is pushing us, you know, justifiably so, into really being more entrepreneurial minded. As per this conference convention this last weekend, this is how we build wealth. You don't build. I think Brother Lawrence Watkins made it best. If you're working for somebody, yeah, you're a business, but you only got one client, right? And so we got to look at how can we not only serve a real demographic in need, which is a part of the melanated family. It's the 16 million food insecure individuals. But upon creating a system, listen to what I'm saying, family, upon creating a system, a network, cooperatives across the country that agree we want to feed this 16 million. Bro, you call the Most High Allah, bro, you call it the Most High Yahweh, that don't matter. Whoever you want to call it, 16 million of these are the creations, are the manifestations of whatever you worship. No matter what you believe in, we're supposed to take care of each other. Am I my brother's keeper? Absolutely. One way to keep my brother, I'm not trying to convert you into anything. I want to feed you. I know the ability to work with others to feed you not only creates food for you, creates food for my family as a participant in this cooperative effort, but then it creates a surplus where we can do global business. Because see, our ancestors came up with these systems a long time ago and they got co-opted. And it turned into what we see as American agriculture today. And so this is our opportunity, just starting with feeding ourselves. Good morning, Sister Moffitt. This is our opportunity, just targeting specific amount of people to feed within our community. What are the systems in place? We know we already have the land. Whether the USDA makes it rain and gives debt forgiveness or, you know, keeps kicking this can down the road, hey, we ain't got to wait on that. We already have the capital, but what it takes is a codified, centralized, laser beam focus. Before we talk about anything else that divides us, we want to make sure that the 16 million food insecure melanated families in America are fed. This is our 5-year goal. We're going to be very realistic. We know in year one, okay, we just got to see who's really with it, right? You know, there's a lot of people well-meaning that's going to come, oh, this is a great idea. I want to be a part of it. Like the OG farmers tell you, if you want to be successful as a farmer, feed the people first. Don't go into it for the bag. Look at now, what can I do? What can I grow to feed the people first? And so you got to gather the like minds that agree. And this is why the All Black National Convention was very important. We need multiple of those. Dr. Boyce Watkins team put this together. It was dope. But we need more of these. We need this conversation to happen every day within all of these different sections where we know 16 million of our family members are food insecure. And then we codify this around, okay, we don't want to ask anybody, especially the farmers, the landowners, we don't want nobody doing nothing for free. Instead of us coming to you like, hey, will you take a chance with this idea we have? No, here's 20K per acre. For every acre you have, maybe you have 20 acres, but hey, you know what? This is a great idea. I'm willing to put 5 of my acres in intensive production. I'm willing to make sure, it's insured. So if somebody comes on my land, trips, cuts themselves, they're insured. They're taken care of. This will be taken care of within this 1.5 billion. Is B1 Ag saying, hey, donate to us? That's not what we're saying at all. This is a conversation that we want to have amongst the family who understands these dynamics, because this is very doable. This is the point Elon Musk was making, that, okay, I got the money, melanated family, we got the money, but since we know there's a lot of technology and exploitation going on, how do we make sure we're codifying the effort? And so this is simply what we're bringing to the table, how feasible it is. We can feed 16 million food insecure melanated family members in what we call North America for 1.5 billion. Not only does this feed them, it's a windfall for the farmers who have land. Some people have just bought land. Particularly on our end, we want to make it rain on the farmers who've been, kind of trying to look for markets. You don't want to get into farming. Okay, maybe I'll have a customer here. Maybe I'll have a client there. No, we know specifically we're feeding 16 million people. Each of them need 200 square feet worth of fresh produce. We know exactly where it's going. We're working with the marketers, peace to the sister Valorant out of Houston, Brooke Sinclair. We're working with the people who know how to get the seed to from seed to table. We're filling all of these niches, and we're training these young people as we do it.
Nothing but win-win. And when I call win-win situations, I call good business. You can't lose with this, y'all. And then just to be real, look, 2 factors that influence food insecurity. The 16 million people we're talking about. And it may be higher than that as we move forward. But these 2 factors that influence food insecurity rates include unemployment and poverty. And this plan, this goal, this directive can tackle both unemployment and poverty. We're feeding the people that are the most hungry first. And while we're doing that, we're employing everyone else.
3 people per acre.
3 people per acre.
Part-time jobs. As a part of these part-time jobs is training. Obviously, you obviously want some elders. You want to be able to pay the farmers to train. You're not asking, you don't want nobody doing nothing for free. Nothing for free. It irritates me to see a lot of these young people tied into these phones, because what's happening is you're being culturalized into consumer. Here at B1 Ag, we want to raise producers. We know to compete in the world to come, we got this goal of being the top in the next 100 to 200 years. We have to be a producer class. Everything, literally and metaphorically speaking, starts with the seed. What I notice about my kids, they act like they don't hear what I say, but they follow everything I do, right? My ability for dad to work with other people that look like dad, that's how they're going to pick that up. And so when we think of what are some things, despite all of the things that separate us, what are some things that we can galvanize around? Feeding people, especially within the melanated community. As we master that system, we now create a localized, because this is what's happening around the world, localized systems. So we can avoid these shipping disruptions. Localized systems, getting the food directly to the people, finding your niche with your skill set. What are you good at? In this chain, from getting this seed in the ground to getting this final product to the final consumer. And within that, now we have a surplus because we done did this for 4 years. We done figured this out. We've gotten all the counsel. We started small. You know, we started with just this goal of feeding 16 million. We figured out what works, what doesn't. And so by year 10, guess what? We're now competitors that can't be replaced. We now have a voice at the table when it comes to legislation, whether you're talking about nationally or internationally. Because as a consumer, you have no voice when it comes to allocating power. Politics is just distributing power and resources. And so when we re-become this production class that's bossing up, we're not doing it under bondage. We're not doing it under, okay, somebody is tricking us and whipping us. No, we're doing this because we see the value in it as a community, as a family. Because in 2021, we all committed that, man, we're going to feed the 16 million of us who are food insecure. Because we figured that out in 2021 and took it serious and got on code, by 2040, our teenagers now become the Elon Musk. They become better than Elon Musk. They buy up some of this land because, you know, this Bill Gates guy is going to expire at some point. So we start buying black the block and buying black the land. It starts with the seed, family.
And we can do all of this with a $1.5 billion investment. The administration still has not given our black farmers their $4 billion in debt relief. Don't give them $4 billion in debt relief. Give them that $1.5 billion investment to feed those 16 million food insecure blacks in this country. How about that? And we'll make the rest. There won't be any more debt. The farmers won't be in debt. And the people will be fed. Sounds like a win-win situation to me. Because hunger affects everyone. Because at the end of the day, if you keep letting people be hungry, the only thing left for those hungry people to eat are the rich. So is that what you want? Zombie apocalypse? Let's go ahead and feed the people, y'all. We all got to eat. We all have to eat. And ultimately, it all boils down, we have to have the buy-in of the people. We have to take agriculture seriously. We have to take our food security seriously. Shout out to Maj Toure. And we got to protect it. And we have to protect it. Build it and protect it and feed the people. No more hunger pains.
Let's build black better.
Build black better. How about that? That needs to be on the shirt. Build black better. Coming to the B1 Ag merchandise store very soon. Build black better. And here at B1 Ag, just to reiterate, we are pushing the black algorithm. We're fighting against the algorithm to push the black algorithm. That's what we're doing. We're fighting the algorithm to push the black algorithm. We all got to eat, y'all. We all got to eat. And just and also to drive that point home, we got the video pushing the black algorithm, because this is what it's all about. We all got to eat. We're not asking for a seat at the table anymore. We are claiming our space. Here we go.
Pushing the black algorithm. Ancestors, they mastered the systems. We raising your bosses, no victims. Planting that knowledge curriculum. Blessing the boots with the nutrients. The darker the berry like Nubian. Dropping receipts like I'm Julian. The streets with that food like Peruvian. Trapping the merchant, the fruits and the veggies. CSA boxes, my package is heavy. Ship across down in the bed of my Chevy. Printing them up, growing off of that baby. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta scramble. Battles like farmers and growers, no gamble. We claiming our fingers, the gamers in shambles. That's what that melanin carry the miracle. Mothers and fathers of civilization. Back to the garden with true cultivation. Building back better through black innovation. Be one community, growing the nation. Genetically designed to be the dopest. Looking at growth mindset. Codified, now we focus farming on track. Be the fan, break bread with them. Look at that. Pushing that B1 algorithm. Now, watch me get them. Watch me get them. Pushing that B1 algorithm. Be the fan, break bread with them. Pushing that B1 algorithm. Watch me get them. Watch me get them. Pushing that B1 algorithm. Pushing the black act.
Now, I hope the family can see those visuals. That's what a black food system looks like. That's what localized food production looks like. That's what on-the-job training in agriculture looks like. That's what it looks like. That's what that $1.5 billion investment will look like. Black hands in the mud, producing this food, and we're all being fed. What's going on, y'all? Any final words, Farmer Brown?
Build Black better. I think it's very concise. This is the age of transparency. That's what 2020 represented to me. I think there is a such thing as divine providence, and I think that divine providence exists when you're operating in truth. We truthfully want to feed those who need the most constructive help. That's code. We have the means to do it.
So, B1 Ag family, B1 family, at the end of the day, I know we started off talking about Elon Musk, but even though Elon Musk is talking about, donating $6 billion of his own money to feed 42 million food insecure, the most food insecure people across the globe, we see that a $1.5 billion investment will feed the most food insecure people in our communities. And not only just feed them as a one-off, create a system that will feed us all into perpetuity. So this really drives home the point that we make every time with this show, that if you really want to know something, what other people need to do, Brown?
If you really want to know something, find the weakness in the game and we sow it and learn how to grow something.
There it is, y'all. Let's have a productive week. Let's keep growing. Let's grow harder and grow harder and grow harder. Let's never stop growing. Let's operate from a place of love. Let's have a wonderful, wonderful week. Be productive. And we're here at B1 Ag. We'll see you soon. Peace out. Meet you in the garden.